Ready, set, go. MicroLoc extensions can cost anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000 plus, depending on different variants. However, today I'm going to show you how to install 20-inch lock extensions the Jazzy way for a fraction of that cost that you can do yourself. All you need is the hair, lock tools, and a little bit of patience. Let's get right into it, shall we? You will need a lock tool. However, I did purchase a lock tool kit that came with various sizes, but I used the black and white tools, which were the micro sizes, in which they work best for MicroLocs. You will need scissors for grooming, and of course, Afro Kinky bulk hair. I bought this particular brand off of Amazon, in which one pack includes 4 bundles of hair. It also includes jewels and 1 MicroLoc tool that you could possibly use over your entire head. However, I opted to get the kit because some of my locks are extremely small and some hooks will not fit through those skinny locks. Before we dive right into the tutorial, I feel that it is important for you to get familiar with this type of hair because it is not distributed evenly for pulling the hair apart. Once you've pulled this hair apart several times, it will begin to look like this. If I could describe this hair, it is pretty much like uneven hair that puts you in the mind of the hair that you pull from a brush, which makes it slightly challenging to form a perfect lock each time. But don't be discouraged because I'm going to show you how to use this hair, problems that you may encounter, and also give you pointers on how to get the best looking manicured lock. Now, let's get right into the tutorial. So the first step is to look at the width of your lock to decide the amount of hair that you may need. The second step is to pull the hair from the bundle and try to stretch it as far as you can to get it evenly distributed linearly. You need to go about 2 to 3 inches above from the bottom of your lock. Wrap the lock around the hook, close the lock clamp, and then pull the hair through the lock while holding one side of the strand and pulling the other side of the strand over. At this point, you're going to braid down until you reach the end of your lock, or at least 1 inch is left of your natural lock. And this is what you do next to try to conceal it. Place where I can't really wrap that small piece, you know, like right here, I kind of take it and hold it with one of the side pieces, right? And kind of twist it like that. And then sometimes I have hair that's kind of like not even, it's kind of not good. I'll just pull it out. Or I just may grab another little small piece to try to give me some stability. You'll take this and like put it on top of that braid, or you know, this side where you kind of twist it up a little bit. Grab it and hold it like you're getting ready to twist it again. And then this will be like your third, this is the other piece. It's like your third piece in the middle. And then you'll begin to continue to braid where you are, focusing on trying to, you know, gather that hair in and kind of twisting it. And hopefully it will wrap itself in. A lot of them do, but then there's just some that are so stubborn, you know. And then when there's pieces that are too small, just borrow from the other strand of hair. See, this one's really skinny, so I'm going to grab a piece here and try to get it as tight as you can, especially at that nub part. And it may intertwine with it, it may not, to try to wrap it in there, and hopefully it will. And let me see if it kind of went through. Nope, it's still a little end tail on that one. Like my locks are like almost 3 years old, almost 4. They're really hard. They get thick, and if you mesh that thickness with this soft hair, it doesn't mingle well sometimes, unless you have some locks that has a little bit of that baby hair on the end, you know, the little curly Q hair on the end. you could probably make that work and blend it in better. So keep watching because I'm going to show you how to get rid of that nubby part that stuck out at the end at the top. Just continue to braid down. Try to add extra hair before it gets too skinny so that your lock can look uniformed and not big and then drastically small. So keep watching because I'm going to repeat this and break this down also in better lighting and on a much smaller lock so that you can see how to work with that as well. Right here, where it's getting a little bit skinny. As you see, it's getting a little skinny here. So I'm gonna add some more hair there. So I'm just grabbing a little bit more because that part is really skinny and you don't want it to look bulky and you want it to look seamless as best as you can, you know. So I'm pulling it apart like 2 pieces, split down the middle. And then I'm gonna take this and almost like I'm lapping over that other piece on this part, on one of the leg, on one of the strands, and I'm taking that other piece up under it, and then I'll just begin to braid. Now be careful to kind of keep pushing it up. When I say push up, I mean keeping the braids taut at this point. Kind of like when you're tying a shoestring, you're trying to keep it straight, tight like that. Remember to keep doing that because if you don't, when you're adding hair, it tends to slide and you'll have a little gap of that loose natural hair and then the braid will start kind of further down. So keep it taut until you know that it's kind of stuck and it's not moving any longer. Then you can like not have to be so tight, you know. I've gotten down, so I know it's tight. It has not slided. I could have used less hair. So you see it's a little, it's not very noticeable. It looks like I had just a little hair, but see, I should have gotten less hair if I wanted that to look seamless. And I don't want to make this video long, but in order for you to see how to do this, I got to show it to you, you know, because I know that you can do this. You can. I'm going to cut the frizz. Get very close to the lock and cut it, but be very careful. And instead of rotating your scissors around the lock to cut, just rotate the lock and just cut in one steady pace from the top to the bottom. Don't go fast on this part is what I recommend. Because if you do, trust me, you're probably going to cut some anyway when you're first doing it accidentally. Because they're so skinny and you're thinking you can see. So after you finish grooming the frays, here's what I do to fix that nub part. So just fold it up to where you can see it so that you don't cut all of the hair and just snip it as close as you can to it and then finish grooming the rest of the frays. Here it is. And I'm done! I'm gonna call my husband. I'm gonna tell him I'm finished. I gotta tell my husband I'm done. I'm officially done. So that was me in real time, overjoyed that I finally finished doing my locks. And that's exactly how you're going to feel. You're going to feel like a superhero, okay? I forgot to add that you may want to use a small mirror when you're sitting so that you can see what you're doing. Have a visual location of where you want your locks to end. So for me, I wanted mine to end right below my boobs. So for every lock, I aimed at that point, and if I happen to go over that point, I would just cut it at the end when I finish my final look. So as promised, let's do a brief recap on installation. Look at the width of the lock to decide how much hair and what type of tool you need to use. That one was small, so we're going to get a small amount of hair and get the smallest micro needle hook. Stick the needle through the lock and grab the hair that you pulled out. Hook it onto the hook and close that clamp. Pull it through the lock. Begin to plait, remembering to hold it taut while you're plaiting so that you can prevent any unraveling from where you attach the extension. When it starts to get a little skinny, or really before you want to attach more hair, remembering to get just a little bit amount of hair. Hold it on top of the lock from the 2 strands that you're going to create and just begin to plait, remembering to hold it taut once again. Continue to plait and add more hair using the same method until you reach the goal length that you're aiming for. Depending on how long my natural lock was, I usually ended up using 2 to 3 lock extension passes. At times you may encounter those knots, but you can either pull it out or work around it, and that's just fine. Just add it on there and just try to reach to the designated spot. Now you got to groom. You're going to start from the top by cutting off those frays, but being very careful not to cut those locks that you've worked very hard for. Keep your scissors in the same spot and just rotate the locks around as you cut around the locks, working your way down. So this is how the lock looks up close and personal. While on my extension journey, here's a few things that I did to stay presentable publicly. Buns, 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 and more buns. Did I say buns? Buns! At times, I would wear big wigs to cover up all of that hair and also to give me a different look, but hey, nobody knew what was going on up under there. I also would wear turbans. You can just get creative. This is your journey. Now, here is my beloved locks at 12 inches long, 3 years locked, almost 4 years in the game, and it's been quite a journey, but now it's time for the final reveal.
Are you ready, Jen?
No, not quite yet. Being that I have human hair extensions added, I opted to go ahead and detox these locks, shampoo my hair thoroughly, retie my roots, groom them, color my locks, and also style. But because this is done in TV time, I'll be done in 1 second.
Alright, well, they waiting on you.
Well, tell them to buckle their seat belts, because Jazzy Jen is coming through.
3, 2, 1.
Now, let's compare prices to see if it's really worth DIYing your lock extensions at home. On average, locticians charge $10 per lock up to 6 inches, and it could be more for curlier or softer hair textures. So let's just use my hair as a comparison for the sake of the video. Now, I have 473 locks. As far as texture, I would consider my hair to be like an average black girl hair texture. We've applied 20-inch hair extensions. With those facts, my hair would cost $21.06 per lock. But before I give you the grand total, let me give you the facts of what I bought with my own money and doing my own hair. I used 2 bags of hair, which was $438.40, and the lock toolkit, which was only $7.68. Now that total was $468.12 only for the hair and the lock tools. If I were to go to a loctician, the grand total price would be, are you ready? Buckle your seatbelts. The grand total price would be $9,961.38.
Whoa!
Now, if you're anything like me, you will get extra excited when you know that you save triple the amount of money that other people pay for the same exact look. Now, I think that's diva activities. And if you about that life too, put a money emoji in the comments, boo. Now, I know you may be wondering, how long did it take me to complete my locks? Well, it took me approximately 5 months to completely finish my locks. Now, I know you may be saying, that is a long time, Jen, but I let this be my journey, which meant I may have done 1 lock a week, several locks in 1 week, or I would just sit down and do a bunch of locks in an hour of time. Sometimes I didn't do any locks for several weeks. But to give you an idea of how long it may take, I took about 15 minutes to complete 1 lock, and that's with adding the hair and grooming it as well. Like, I took my time when I did 1 lock. So if you go faster than I do, then you might could do it in less time. We have reached our final destination, but before you leave, I want to give a big thumbs up and applause to you should you try this method at home. And I also want to leave you with this. Be the most confident, inspirational, the mostest, extraness, flyest queen that you can be. Unapologetically. Thank you for watching.